Alright, what's up guys? I think it's about time I do kind of a little bit of a review. My thoughts on the Africa Twin as a commuter motorcycle. I have a bug on my helmet. There we go. Alright, problem solved. I know everyone that gets an adventure bike is all about the off-road life, the adventure life. All about moto camping. You know, that's all we're allowed to post and share when we have an adventure bike. It's all we do on it. We don't work anymore. We don't have normal everyday lives. It's all we do. You buy an adventure bike and you adventure. Unfortunately, unlike people who get to travel the world for a living, most of us have to work. I am one of those people. Unless someone finds a way for me to make money, afford all my expensive hobbies, and let me travel for a living, then I will transition. But until then, I have to work. And so a good majority of the riding I do on this bike is commuting to and from work. I average about an hour a day commuting. It's actually probably a tad bit over an hour. It's like an hour 15, give or take, depending on traffic that I run into. Today, the traffic is pretty minimal. It's not the point. The point is this bike great for commuting? I think so. I think the ergonomics of the bike make it super comfortable for chewing up some highway miles. I mean, I just hit a big dip there with one hand on the bars. It's comfortable to chew up the highway miles. Now, I do have some upgrades on this bike. Of course, I have all the off-road upgrades, but I also have some upgrades that are more touring oriented. I went with the Storm hand guards for wind deflection. They really help in like the winter or if I ride in rain. That's, I guess, why they're named the Storm. They help you in a storm. The other thing is I've got the Puig, however you want to say it, windscreen. I know the camera's not really, makes it kind of hard to tell. Touring windscreen. I do look over the windscreen while I'm riding. I'm not looking through it. It does have riser brackets if you're taller than me to make it, you know, a little higher for whatever your height is. I've got it in the normal position, or the low position, I guess would be the correct term. But what I liked about this one is honestly the look of it. For one, I think it's the best looking touring windscreen you can get on these bikes, but it also has kind of air channels to it, and it blocks off the little hole on the front that air passes through, so it channels the air around you rather than just being a windscreen that sends the air everywhere, which I thought was pretty unique, because most of them are just round windscreens without channels on them. This one has the channels, and it makes a huge difference. The GPS being up there gets no wind, and it honestly never gets wet in the rain. Now, if I'm stopped at a traffic light or something in a storm, obviously it gets a little bit of rain, but as long as I'm riding, even the GPS never gets wet, so it does really well. I do also commute with a helmet with a peak on it. For those of you who get misinformed that you can't do highway miles with a peak, that's a lie. This peak doesn't pull at all, and it's perfect for blocking the sun, because depending on the season, sometimes, you know, I'm riding into the sun to work, sometimes I'm riding into it more on the way home, but regardless, the peak does its job. I've also got the Transitions Visor, which is pretty relevant to the commuting aspect because, again, depending on the season, it can be dark when I'm heading to work or dark when I'm heading home, and the Transitions Visor, you know, takes care of that. It's clear when I need to be clear, it's smoked when I need it to be tinted. Honestly, it's pretty great. It's not quite as awesome as like a mirrored visor, but I'll take the best of both worlds and have, you know, a clear and smoked without swapping them over. Riding at night with a mirrored one, it's just not as ideal. Fuel economy, like I said, I commute an hour every day. I average, now I'm, you know, running at 80 miles an hour on average isn't the most fuel efficient speed, but I'm still averaging up well over 200 miles to a tank. I always fill up well before that, just because I'm one of those people that doesn't like to run the tanks low. Plus I pass gas stations on the way home, so why would I wait if I could just go ahead and top it off and not have to worry about it? So I normally top it off, but I only ever put like 3 gallons in it. So I mean, I'm never really burning through the whole tank, but I'm definitely getting well over 200 miles. even doing the speeds that I average. One cool thing about it, I have added a top case. I was against them for a long time, but when I started commuting on it more, yes, I keep all my work stuff in a Climb backpack on my back just because it's convenient. I get to work and it's there as far as like my computer and all that stuff. But I'll take my lunch a lot. I wear a hat at work, just whatever extra stuff. And the top case is just way more convenient. Sometimes I go on lunch and I pick up to-go orders for food, and it's, yeah, I can just put my lunch in the top case. I went the DIY route. I spent like 60 bucks. I got like a Pelican case and mounted on the back. I think it looks pretty fitting to the bike. Slap some stickers on there, and you know what? ADV, there you go. I think it looks good. I got little padlocks on it for security. It's whatever, serves the job, quick and convenient. I know not everyone's into it. I wasn't into it, but it's convenient. I don't care what anybody says, top box is convenient. And it's a slimmer one, so it looks better on the bike. Another point, this may not be relevant to everyone, but by running the top box and not running my panniers, side bags, whatever you want to call them, I'm a slimmer profile. Now, the Africa Twin is a pretty big bike. It's a tall bike, but I can fit through the parking garage at work. I can fit around the arms when I need to, in between the poles, and it's just convenient. It's easy to park, it's nimble, it has a very good turn radius, quite awesome. My Harley's turn radius is terrible. I have to do like a 10-point turn to get that thing in a space sometimes. This one is great. I never have to do that. So it's convenient, maneuverable. You could filter if you live in a place where you need to do that, but I just think all around it's a great bike for commuting. So I mean, to not go too long-winded into this, if you're thinking about picking up an Africa Twin and most of your riding is going to be to work, because let's be honest, we all have jobs, it's a great bike for that. Great fuel economy, and that's even with me. Like I said, I'm loaded out with full crash gear. I've got full crash bars, you know, upper, mid, lower, and I've got bark busters and a tail rack and top cases and that, a lot of weight there. But you know, I've got some added weight on here, and I'm still getting great fuel economy. It's super comfortable. I mean, ADV bikes in general, it's not just an Africa Twin, but ADV bikes just have great ergonomics. Very comfortable to ride. You can stand up if you want to stand up. I got a bit of a commute, so sometimes, you know, when I get off of the highway, I'll stand up and stretch my legs. It's tall enough that I feel like sometimes in morning traffic, when everybody's half awake and they're not paying attention, that I'm more visible on the road on this bike with the size of it. It's also got LED headlights, so that's also helpful. But let's be real, cars don't pay attention to us regardless. But yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about picking one up, I recommend it. I think you really can't go wrong with an ADV bike as far as commuting. You really can't go wrong with commuting on a bike, period. Especially when gas in my area is averaging near $5 a gallon right now. We won't get into that, but yeah, gas prices are high. Save some money, get you a bike, commute on it. If you're thinking about it, pick one up. I think you'll enjoy it. And if nothing else, you can look forward to the ride to work, and you can really look forward to the ride home and take the scenic route. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer them, tell you what I got on the bike, fill you in on whatever. If you're picking one up and you're just really happy that you got it, go ahead and tell me about that too. I love to hear about people getting out on two wheels and commuting and enjoying life, even if it's just during your commute. So until then, guys, take care. Everyone that rides, ride safe. If you're thinking about riding, ride safe when you get there. And until next time, this is Thanks Adventures. And that is a duck.